Hi, I'm Stephen Hunter, and welcome to this special edition of The Health Show on breathing and your health, television that invites you to inhale. Believe it or not, here, where I'm sitting, is the focus of a medical controversy. It's called a hyperbaric oxygen chamber. There are miraculous stories about its ability to treat a whole host of neurological problems, from strokes to cerebral palsy. However, skeptics are calling the science behind it into question. Well, Dr. Brian Goldman went south into the cradle of hyperbaric medicine to see that if by breathing rarefied air, we can mend a broken brain.
Most people come to South Florida for blue waters, sandy beaches, rejuvenating warmth.
But others come here to meet a doctor who offers rejuvenation of a different kind. A treatment that some say may mean the difference between paralysis and the ability to walk, between coma and awakening, between life and death.
That's real good news how we're coming along, huh?
The doctor is Richard Neubauer. His clinic here at Lauderdale by the Sea is a crucible of hope for the hopeless. Men and women, young and old. People with neurological disorders of almost every kind, from strokes to head injuries.
We get these patients at the end of the line. We get them after everybody says nothing can be done. As long as people say nothing can be done, it will never get done. The very unfortunate thing is that we see them last in line. This should be first in line. Doctor, welcome to the Ocean Hyperbaric Center.
First in line for a highly controversial treatment called hyperbaric oxygen. Dr. Neubauer has 10 chambers, each going full tilt, and they're booked months in advance. People come from all over the world, including Canada. Joseph Savoy and his son Luke are from Winnipeg. Luke was born with cerebral palsy, a condition that makes his arms and legs tight and spastic. Joseph is inside the chamber with his son so he doesn't get frightened. What does it feel like to have hyperbaric oxygen?
It's actually a little bit hot in here because we played, but if we weren't playing, it'd be pretty cool probably.
For the next hour, they'll breathe 100% pure oxygen at 1.5 atmospheres pressure. This is Luke's 13th of 40 treatments.
His knees used to always be clamped in together whenever we'd sit, unless I had them really relaxed.
Already, Joseph says that Luke's legs are noticeably looser. So are his thumbs.
I'm pretty enthused about it, and I'm trying to keep a very objective opinion and an objective mind. I don't want to jump the gun and say, oh, it's a miracle or anything.
This is one of the original Vickers. This was the Rolls Royce.
Dr. Neubauer treats patients with head injuries. Once, a mother asked him to treat her son, who had been in a coma for 12 years.
He brings this kid to the front door of the medical center here and says, do something. And we ran about 20 to 30 treatments. We saw improvement. That is viable, recoverable, dormant, idling brain tissue. The kid began to wake up.
That type of success seems to be commonplace here at Neubauer's clinic.
How many people with neurological injuries? Can you estimate how many you've treated?
In the hundreds. But it's only a small sampling of the millions throughout the country.
Hyperbaric medicine is not new. It's been used for decades to treat scuba divers who get the bends. It's become a life-saving treatment for people with carbon monoxide poisoning.
The patient okay? Any problem with her ears?
No, she did find everything.
Recently, doctors have used it to help heal everything from burns to sports injuries. What makes Dr. Neubauer so controversial is that he's using hyperbaric oxygen to treat neurological injuries, something other North American physicians refuse to do. That's why Dale Kaiser had to travel all the way to Dr. Neubauer's clinic from his home in Michigan and pay for the treatments himself.
Instead of progressing, you just seem to get better over the years.
Oh, yeah. Dale has multiple sclerosis. Before taking hyperbaric treatments, he had trouble walking and other symptoms. He says the improvements have been dramatic.
it started to dawn on me that things were changing. And I was seeing a difference with my vision, my balance, and just an overall fantastic feeling.
Edward and Gretchen Sobchak also came to the clinic from their home in Michigan. Sobchak had a stroke 3 years ago.
What changes did we see after the treatments?
Much more alert, more with it.
When the doctors back home said there was nothing more they could do, they came here.
Last year we came down with open minds, and we saw the treatment here, and we were impressed, and especially impressed with the results that Edward got.
Your cardiologist says you're going to be around a long time.
Right.
Before his first set of treatments last year, Edward couldn't move his left leg or arm. He had difficulty speaking. His wife said he had trouble concentrating. Today, they're certain he's a lot better.
I think he's considerably better off, simply because of his more positive, being able to think more positively, and the fact that he has improved in his thinking processes.
Well, at least I'm able to walk with a cane, which I was not able to do before.
The patients and Dr. Neubauer believe that hyperbaric oxygen is the key behind all of these successes.
We tell them that we are dealing with dormant, idling, sleeping, possibly recoverable brain cells. That the hyperbaric oxygen may well activate some of these cells.
Sit up a little bit. I want to put your pillows up.
Dr. Neubauer believes that the injured part of the brain is surrounded by a zone of brain cells that aren't dead. They're just dormant, sleeping. He says that hyperbaric oxygen can wake them up, making symptoms get better. And this picture, says Dr. Neubauer, is the proof. It's called a SPECT scan, an image of the brain that shows which parts are working properly. Edward had a SPECT scan last year before his hyperbaric treatment began. He's having another today to see if there's any difference. Before hyperbaric treatment, his scan showed several huge dark spots. That's where the stroke did its damage. This is Sobchak's scan after hyperbaric treatment.
We had a nice filling in around the edges. As this brain began to respond around the edges, his mentation became better, his personality was better. So we look forward to further continued improvement in his case.
How does that make you feel, knowing that your SPECT scans look better?
Give you some hope.
Far away from the limelight, Dr. Neubauer has been slowly, quietly building the case for hyperbaric oxygen. But back in Canada, he's already getting an enthusiastic reception. And it's largely because of an extraordinary woman living right here in Montreal. When we come back, the incredible story of Claudine Nadeau and her struggle to find help for her twin sons, when the Health Show continues.